making those free passes count and scoring them.
Falvey swinging at that first pitch, and on the run is Sydney Chambly, one down. Here's the batting order for the Gators. Otis, Brown, Kowalewski had the big hits yesterday. Skylar Wallace is their senior leader, the reigning SEC Player of the Year and All-American in that 3 spot in the lineup. Gators open up the day 3 games behind Tennessee with 4 to play. So if they lose and Tennessee wins, that would knock the Gators out of the race. Tennessee is at Alabama. That's coming up next here on ESPN2. The Lady Vols, the reigning SEC champs, they've already taken the first 2 games, a couple of shutouts over the Crimson Tide. Florida seeking a 10th SEC regular season championship. That's the most in the league. There's Tim Walton. Back-to-back national championships in 2014 and 2015. Talking with him this week, Michelle, you get the sense he is really enjoying this outstanding freshman class and group of transfers that have really jacked this Florida program back up after a disappointing year last year.
Yeah, a lot of really talented athletes new coming in, starting 4 freshmen. And you can just tell the energy is back in this program for sure.
Otis is the transfer from Louisville. She was 2 years with the Cards. Coming into the weekend, top 10 in the country in batting average and on-base percentage.
Well, you look at Corby Otis and Jocelyn Erickson will be hitting in the 4 spot. Those 2 transfers, both possibly in the running for SEC Player of the Year.
Otis lashes that one the opposite way, and that'll bounce off the wall in right center. And the stand-up double with 1 out for Corby.
Corby Otis in that 2-hole, not only does she hit for average, she also hits for power. That's her 9th double of the year. And she's just so patient, getting herself in a leverage count. Takes this ball the opposite way. She's off the dish, knowing that Backus is going to try to throw underneath her hands, drives it the opposite way. Nice effort out there by Jada Kearney. Just gets over her glove, though.
Pushes her hitting streak to 11 games, 16 hits over those 11 games for Otis. And a runner in scoring position for Skylar Wallace. 9 home runs, 43 runs batted in for Wallace. Back home in her native Georgia from Woodstock. Started her career at Alabama and now flourishing at Florida. Had a stolen base yesterday to tie the school record, so if she gets on and swipes another, she's alone at the top. Opposite way, fighting the sun is Chambly on the track. 2 down.
Lily Backus in the circle. Back-to-back days here. She's going to be in the low to mid 60s. She has that elite changeup. That's really what she throws everything off of. The curveball to both sides. She'll throw it backdoor, so inside to lefties and run it away. Inside to righties as well. And every once in a while, she'll throw that jumpy rise at the top of the zone.
Chance for Jocelyn Erickson, and she swings at the first pitch and pops it up. And ooh, the scoop. And she is in line to join Hannah Rogers in terms of 20 wins and this much work over the course of her rookie campaign. Here is the lineup she will face, including Sarah Mosley in that 4 spot. A pair of home runs yesterday for Sarah. Heart of that order did some serious damage in game 2. Here's Dallas Goodnight in the leadoff. Starting center fielder. Ten-game hit streak for Dallas came to an end yesterday. 1 for 6 so far in the series. Swinging away. Corby Otis. That son is going to be a situation for the fielders today, 1 down. There's a look at Tony Baldwin. 3rd season as the head coach, a decade as an assistant coach for Lou Harris Champer. Their motto has been scrap, fight, and find a way. That's how it's always been here at Georgia. Tony continuing that tradition. That's what happened yesterday after a disappointing Friday against Rothrock.
When you look at their season, they won their first 2 SEC series and then kind of went on a skid, lost 3 series in a row, and basically said to the team, like, hey, we got to be stronger. We have to be tougher mentally.
This is a senior-laden group. It starts here with Chambly. The next 5 have been here together for 4, 5, 6 years. And so with that comes some weight of expectation, a lot going on in your life. But Tony is hoping that they will focus on the good aspects of experience, like the trust that they have in one another, the knowledge that they have in each other's games, and the way to do things.
Well, and the opportunity. This is a very talented team that has good pitching in the circle. If they play that good defense behind them, and with the power and the bats, they absolutely have an opportunity to make it to the Women's College World Series.
Chambly, the inside-out swing and good range at short for Wallace, 2 down. How about the scout on Keegan Rothrock?
She's going to have really good velocity. She will be mid-upper 60s, but she varies that speed. So she might throw that rise ball at 68 miles an hour. She'll drop it down to 62 miles an hour, a little bit of off speed. And really, those speed differentials are the key for her. She also goes down in the zone about 20% of the time. That curveball also about 21% of the time.
Well, and here's the other thing too, Smitty. It was a run rule win, 5 innings on Friday night. So Rothrock only threw 87 pitches, and these hitters, most of them only saw her twice.
Absolutely, and that is a key.
Kearney lifts that out to left, and Otis is there. 3 fly balls, 6 yesterday. And what, you did the math on that, right, Smitty? How many of them came in to score? Is it 50%?
50% so far in this series. Florida has been outstanding at making those free passes count.
That's almost what they are on the season.
Yeah. They make you pay.
Walsh, Brown, and Kowalewski coming up. And a lot of folks getting under the softball here in the early going. Nothing but fly outs. That is the 7th of the 7 recorded out so far. 1 down.
Now batting for Florida, number 0, Ava Brown.
Ava Brown, one of the home run hitters yesterday. Good 2-way player. She was also in the circle. And then re-entered the game at first base. That's where she's at today.
A string of 3 freshmen in a row for Florida.
Yeah, that freshman of the year top 25 list came out this week. Keegan Rothrock is on it. Brown lashes that one, gone. 2nd home run in as many days for Ava. And Florida jumps in front.
Well, this Florida team, they know what they're hunting. They are very well schooled and versed in not only physically their swings, but knowing what they want to go after and attack. And after seeing Backus so much yesterday, continuing to barrel up the ball, and you can see that this pitch is just right down the middle. That's a curveball that needs to get in a little bit more, and Ava Brown just tattoos it. Look at her timing on this. It is perfect. Front foot is down before those hands start to move. That means the eyes are quiet and silent. She can really identify the pitches, and she can barrel it up and drive it out of the yard.
That is the 3rd well-struck ball already for the Gators. They had a couple of those in the 1st inning that stayed in the park. That one does not.
11th home run of the year for the freshman.
And here's Kowalewski, who had the granny yesterday. 2 for 4 so far in the series with a couple of walks, a couple of runs scored. Swinging and the miss there.
Kowalski biting after the changeup, and this is where off of a pitcher like Backus, you have to go up and make a decision. You can't be sitting in the middle. Like, am I identifying changeup? Am I swinging it hard?
Puts that one in play. Kuma's there at second. 2 down.
And that's usually what changeup pitchers do to you. They can get in your head and they get you in the middle there. So you're not really reacting to the hard stuff, and you're not really sitting on the slow stuff. So you're out on your front foot. And sometimes you have to split the plate, look on one side of the plate, but sometimes you also have to split the speed and say, hey, I'm sitting hard or I'm sitting soft.
Mia Williams in the 8th spot in the order. Out of Windermere, Florida. 0 for 2 so far in the series. Has been on base a couple times. This is a finish with a flourish for Florida.
It's a mouthful.
They're in the midst of an 8-game stretch against ranked opponents. And of course, this a huge series. And then next week, hosting Texas A&M, the team right in front of them in the standings. And the Aggies with the weekend off, so they've got all week. They're probably watching right now.
Oh.
Hello, Texas A&M.
Yeah, Trisha Ford has them.
Yeah, they are
Paying
a
attention.
game and a half behind Tennessee right now in the standings.
Well, and Florida midweek has to go to Florida State.
Yes, they do.
Florida State beat up on them in Gainesville last week.
Williams waits on it, but right back to Backus. In the KPI, Oklahoma is the #1 in the KPI. Texas is the #1 in the RPI. As I think we slowly start to move away from the RPI in all sports.
Yeah. Well, it's just not specific enough. It doesn't drill down enough to really count the things that mattered. Are your big wins on the road or at home? Are your big losses on the road or at home?
Are you playing against the ace pitcher
Right.
on the other team when you beat them or lose to them?
And how many runs do you score? Do you have a shutout? All those things matter in KPI.
So you can search that on your interwebs and find the KPI. The difference, for example, Georgia is 4 in the RPI, and Florida is 19 in the RPI. The KPI says they're both probably hosting a regional.
Yeah. And I think rightfully so by the eye test, that would be the case in my opinion.
Of course, with the SEC, the likelihood is that all 13 teams will get in this year. We'll keep an eye on Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They have the lowest RPI and KPI. Mosley fouls that one off. Sarah had the 2 home runs yesterday. Trying to keep Georgia in the chase for a bye in that SEC tournament. What's at stake for them today? Well, a loss here and an Arkansas win would eliminate them as a top 4 seed, since they would not have the head-to-head against the Hogs or the Gators if Florida were to win today. Next weekend, the last weekend, there you see the Mosley Roofing Company. That's her softball on the roof there, still under construction of their gorgeous new practice facility with locker rooms and weight training and their own cafeteria. What do they call it now? The kids call it a fuel station. Smitty, their own fuel station is out there. We're going to be here for the SEC tournament next year.
That's going to be outstanding.
Auburn in a couple of weeks. May 7th to the 11th, part of Champ Week. we are, what, 2 Saturdays up now? 2 Sundays away from Selection Sunday? 3, May 12th. Selection Sunday.
I think that's actually 2.
Is that 2?
Yeah.
2 Sundays from today.
And the mayhem. I think the mayhem actually started in April this year. But,
Already underway. Didn't it start opening weekend?
Yes,
Like half the top 10 lost?
It did.
And Mosley punched out. Thought she had ball 4. 1 down.
Mosley working deep into this count. This is a nice pitch on the inner half by Rothrock, and she knows it immediately when she throws it in there. Mosley thinks it's inside on the river, but Rothrock, the freshman, picking up the strikeout. Just 1 strikeout in game 1, but only gave up 2 hits. So it was efficient, and as you mentioned, just a 5-inning game, so didn't have to throw a lot of pitches.
Here's Sydney Kuma. Two for 3 yesterday. She had a couple of walks on Friday. Had the 2-run homer yesterday. Rothrock ahead again, 1-2.
Throws that last pitch, a rise ball. That's the one that she throws at the top of the zone, trying to get you the chase to set you up, possibly at a low rise at the knees. Goes back upstairs again.
She's one of the top freshman pitchers in the country. On that top 25 list.
Interesting, that was Chelsea Dobbins there, her pitching coach. First year coming over from North Carolina, who actually coached Backus.
2 down and back-to-back strikeouts for Rothrock. This one swinging.
A little bit different look in game 3 versus game 1, and this is that curveball in the outer half. There's a little bit of movement back into the zone. I'm surprised that Kuma misses that. And Rothrock already picking up her 2nd strikeout of the game.
That'll bring up Jaden Fields. Home run Friday for Jaden. Home run Saturday for Jaden to help her bust out of a big-time slump for the senior out of Kennesaw. Two and
I'm really trying to play now with those EV velocity tunnels. Change up on the outer half, then trying to come back underneath the hands. And that's one thing about Rothrock. Even though she's young as a freshman, she can throw a lot of competitive pitches in different zones.
Line down the left field line. Long single for Fields and the first base runner for Georgia. They've got the tying run aboard.
Wow, and that was really well played by Otis out in left field. This ball is tattooed. It is hit so hard. Fields getting her groove back. Really gets all through this ball. But look at the way Otis is going to play this. She doesn't try to go get it. She stops and plays it off the wall. And because of that, it is nothing more than a long single. Looks like it could be a double down the line. Well played by Corby Otis in left.
Here's Sarah Gordon. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Sarah didn't play on Friday. Lindy Ray Davis was the catcher, and then Sarah was behind the dish yesterday, went 1 for 3. Pops it up, right side. Williams under. Side return.
Duke has the head-to-head against Florida State.
They're going to be big Syracuse fans. That's where Florida State has to go next weekend. Here's Katie Kistler. 9 and then the top coming up for the Gators. All of these races are tight. 1-game leads in the Big 10, Big 12, ACC. A 2-game lead for UCLA right now in the Pac-12.
lot of parity throughout the country, seeing it, even in the mid-majors, right, that have knocked off quite a few Power 5.
Kistler over our heads out of play. What happens here in the last couple of weeks? How many West Coast teams will host? Does Washington join UCLA and Stanford as hosts? Is it possible for one of the Big Ten teams to host? Their numbers aren't great right now.
Yeah, I don't think.
Northwestern or Michigan, they're fighting for the top spot there. Otherwise, you're talking about the majority of the tournament in the SEC and ACC. SEC possibly could have half the hosts in the regionals.
Big 12, Oklahoma, Texas, Oklahoma State. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It always is when that bracket comes out. Get to dissect it. Back is still effective with that changeup. So hard to identify the way she spins it. And we talk a lot about pitchers and their velocities. It's that spin speed that makes it so hard to identify. Try to figure out which way the pitch is going.
Full count to Katie. Swing and a miss. And Backus has her first strikeout, 1 down.
A really good setup with the changeup, goes off the end of the bat of Kistler, and then they take the rise ball, get her up in the eyes, and get her to chase this pitch out of the zone. 3-2 count. This is ball 4. Kistler's going to chase it out of the zone. Big strikeout. The number 9 hitter before rolling over the order.
Kendra Falby, a fly out to left her first time up. Capable of that short game, so first and third come charging in on the pitch. With Mosley and Digby both pulled in.
Entire infield is going to be in. That's how much speed Falby has.
Hard shot to short. Armistead is there. 2 down.
Nice job by Armistead and Digby, the freshman, over at first to get back after being pulled well up the line.
Well, that's a good example there, Michelle, of how clean defensively you have to be against Florida. With the speed that they have, you just have to take care of your business to keep them off the bases.
100%. When they get on base, they steal bases and just create a lot of chaos.
Otis doubled out to right center first time out. Stole the apogee out of the Georgia playbook. Gators have dominated this rivalry over the years in the regular season. Tim Walton's club has won 63% of the regular season game, but Georgia matches that in the postseason, winning 63% of the time in the SEC and NCAA tournaments.
Yeah, when you back out even the SEC tournament, you just go to postseason NCAA tournament. Is it 5-1? Ooh.
Lily Backus nibbling, 2-2.
Well, and that's what she's going to need to do today. She's going to need to nibble around the zone. She's going to have to win those 3-2 battles, win the leverage count battles.
This is high, full count. We told you yesterday. Go ahead.
Sorry, second full count of the inning. Working deep.
How dare you? Lost her. First free pass. Now, I was about to say, we talked yesterday how Georgia is perfect in the SEC in Game 2 Saturdays, but it's the opening game and now this Sunday, Game 3, where they have struggled to close out and win a series.
And to your point, Beth, Madison Krupix has not been available the last 2 weekends, and she's a big arm in the circle for Georgia, so really having to rely on Shelby Walters, who got roughed up in Game 1. That's why we're seeing Backus here with back-to-back starts.
Slow roller to Armistead, gobbles that up. Side retire. The other team with more quality wins on the resume. And that's something that Florida is looking for today, midweek against Florida State, and then next weekend against Texas A&M. They need to rack up some top 25s. 8-9-1, due up for Georgia. One and two to Emily Digby. Freshman looking for her first hit of the series. She had 3 hits in their Missouri series last weekend. Behind that one.
Tony Baldwin really high on Digby and her abilities defensively. Knows that at some point the bat will start to catch up.
In front of that one, Georgia will finish up the regular season on the road at Mississippi State next weekend.
It's another team that's really made some great improvements over the last couple of years.
What a job Samantha Ricketts has done. They might have a winning record in the league for the first time in over 20 years.
Hired Taryn Mote as her pitching coach. That's a big turnaround. ERA is down. Their batting average, team batting average up.
Got a big series with Missouri this weekend. Of course, both of those coaches, well, everybody's name pretty much is in the hopper for the Auburn head coaching job, which is opening up at the end of the year. Of course, the Auburn AD, John Cohen, hired Ricketts at Mississippi State before he left for the Plains, so they have that history. Strikeout for Rothrock. 1 down. How about some names, some prominent names that will probably be in the discussion? Of course, Emily Carasoni, their legendary player and now associate head coach. Ricketts, who we just talked about. You could go Marissa Young at Duke. I don't know if she wants to leave there, or if you're looking for somebody with World Series experience, a guy like John Rittman maybe at Clemson. Smitty with a chance. Wide right. But yeah, there's some intriguing choices there, like Marissa Young, for example. I don't believe the SEC has ever had a black head coach in softball.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at Young and Rittman starting those programs in the ACC.
What about some of the other coaches around the SEC, like a Larissa Anderson or a Rachel Lawson or a Courtney Deifel? Do they want to stay where they're at, where they have established themselves in good programs, or might Auburn have enough money on the line to make them consider a move? On the run, in and out of the glove of Kistler, and that's a fair ball. And Ellie Armistead standing at second base.
That's a great heads-up base running job by Ellie Armistead, the senior, seeing this play right in front of her. Kistler has a long way to come. This is actually Mia Williams, the second baseman. That's her ball. She needs to go get that. Seeing the way that Kistler is coming in, I know that it's always outfield overrules infield, but I think that that's a play that Kistler just has to come too far, and then the ball rolls away from her because Williams is hanging out more toward the infield. Armistead heads up, getting to second base on that.
Yeah, it looked like Kistler may have been the one that called her off there.
Yeah.
You're right, Smitty. They scored a double, tying run in scoring position. Goodnight considers the sack. Back to the top of the order here. Georgia so far in the first 2 games of the series and into today, 4 of 13 with a runner in scoring position. This actually is their first chance today. Goodnight swings through it. There probably goes the bunt opportunity.
Yeah.
2.
Goodnight has done a better job this year of staying in the box, hitting for power, bringing that average up. She is a very efficient bunter, so not getting that bunt down. That first attempt was hard.
Fouled that one off.
Tony Baldwin really talked about how she's improved this year simply because of the competition. They've got a lot of great outfielders, and everybody's having to work hard to earn that time. A little bit of pressure always helps that performance level go up.
Said she rediscovered her competitive self. And Tony has a great point. He said if you want to play the outfield here, you got to be able to hit the ball, because everybody else can slam it out of the park.
That's right.
1-2 from Rothrock. 2-2. Another great environment here. Spectacular day in Athens. Another standing room only crowd. They had to turn people away at the door. Goodnight grounds it to the right side. That'll bump the runner over with 2 outs. As Tony, another capacity crowd. You got the new construction almost done out in left field. What does this rivalry mean to be a part of for this program and the fan base that you have here?
You know, it's 2 really good programs going at it. I have so much respect for Tim and what he's done with their program. And so, yeah, anytime you can play a great team with great coaches, you got to take it as an honor, and we're thankful for our competition.
And Coach, you have 10 amazing seniors on this team that have really set the record books here for Georgia softball. What have they meant to this program?
You know, they've just put all their heart and soul into it, and they care. I've said that a bunch of times. They really care. They want to make our fans happy. They want to make their families happy, and they really want to do it for each other. So I think that's what makes them special, and they're pretty talented too. That helps.
Thank you very much, Coach.
All right, go Dogs.
Dogs ranked number 9 in the country. Still a shot at a bye for the SEC tournament. They need to win today and keep winning next weekend. Get some help, as they don't have the head-to-head with Arkansas right now.
Yep.
After the Hogs won their regular season matchup. 4, 5, and 6 for the Gators. Here's Jocelyn Erickson. Florida trying to fight off a loss. If that's coupled with a Tennessee win today, they would be knocked out of the SEC race. So they need to win to keep their hopes alive. Then they become a big Kentucky fan next weekend. Erickson got under it. So does Jada Kearney. 1 down. Talked about the respect he has for Tim Walton and this Florida program. They were picked in the middle of the pack by the preseason poll, and here they are fighting for one of the top spots. Of course, those 2 have coached together as well with USA softball.
Yeah, and Tony talked about how much he's learned from Tim Walton and how they've really, friendship has grown out of it.
Is that legal, Florida, Georgia?
I know, right? There might be some
Not during this weekend.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. Keep a distance.
Outside of it. Reagan Walsh.
I think that's one of the things I do love about SEC softball is that, you know, we always say iron forges iron, right? The strength of the conference just helps make everybody better. Shared practices, best practices.
And then next year with the arrival of Texas and Oklahoma. Vanderbilt, if you're listening, we need a program in Nashville. We need a new stadium there.
That's right.
Just saying.
I'm a fan of a public-private relationship. Have a nice brand new stadium built in Nashville.
A lot of money for the men's pro
right.
teams. How about for some women's pro
Just
teams?
1% of what you're spending for the Titans, build a softball stadium.
Preaching to the choir.
Well, I think that's the next step, the next evolution in our sport, especially for us to excel at the professional level, is that we need professional facilities. Like
one in Los Angeles for the Olympics would be nice too, if we can find a sugar daddy or sugar mama out there to hook us up. 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, softball will be back. As Walsh draws the walk, that's the second of the ball game for Florida. Wait a second, she's coming back.
Yeah,
that's only a 3-ball count.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure. I was like, did that hit her? I didn't think it hit her.
Full count. See, I knew we were right the first time. 1 on with 1 out.
Second walk of the game. But the walk given up right in front of Ava Brown, who went yard last time.
Yeah, that walk in the third did not end up hurting Backus. Let's see what happens here. Ava crushed a curveball last time up. Got out of here in a hurry. Got a pinch runner. Avery Gels over there at first base. Walsh can re-enter. Brown's home run, the difference in this ball game. Lays.
Well, she'll get a healthy dose of the changeup this at-bat.
That's home runs in her last 2 at-bats, by the way, because her final at-bat yesterday was also a dinger. So the youngsters have, what, 4 of their last 5 home runs? Some really good rookie hitters. Let's see, at both Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, for example. Texas, again, another good rookie class.
And playing in big games like they're juniors and seniors.
Brown will not make it 3 in a row. And out in center is Goodnight. 2 down. Got a little charged up that last game. Kowalewski yanks that one through the right side and all the way around to third as Gels runners on the corners here with 2 down.
Kowalewski, the lefty freshman. Kakuma playing a little bit up the middle. Digby couldn't get to this. Kuma couldn't get to this. She gets around that pitch on the outer half. You can see the way that Kuma's up the middle, just can't get to that ball as it scooches through.
Ariel now with hits in all 3 games in the series.
The call on the field is that the runner left on time at first base. Georgia's challenging that she left early. This play is under further review. After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. The runner left on time.
Matt Dial, the home plate umpire. Brian Crochet at first. James Colsey at third this afternoon. Here's the number 8 at third. Kowalewski at first. Williams lines one just outside the line. That would have scored a couple.
See the way that ball's hooking. Just.
Out in front again. That one much deeper, but foul. Off the facade.
Oh, right back inside. 2 pitches in a row, and Williams has not been fooled by him.
Those are the numbers for the season with 2 outs. Knocking it around pretty good. I'm assuming in the construction phase, Georgia was anticipating that the new facility was reachable. It's already been dinged up a couple of times in this series.
They have netting out there. They might need higher netting. Good job by Sarah Gordon behind the dish. Keeping that pitch in front.
Ooh, we've already seen windows broken at that new building outside the left field fence at Texas this year. Williams to Armistead at short, has the play over to first to end the threat. And all season long about this freshman class. What have you loved about teaching and coaching with this group?
It's been good. You know, there is a lot of teaching. You know, you assume like 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. You got to tell them, you know, understand, you know, kind of how the game works and what the game's like. So it's a lot of teaching. There's been some fun moments. There's been some head-scratching moments too. But yeah, I really do like these guys as people, and they work really hard. A lot of trust going on.
And Coach, how important has Ava Brown been for you in the circle? You get innings out of her in the bat. She's been outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, she's putting together one heck of a freshman season. Obviously, with her bat, her batting average is higher in SEC play than it is overall. A lot of home runs. She's done a good job. In the circle, she's a competitor. You know, obviously, she wanted to be a little bit better for us yesterday, but she's done a good job. Great leadership, great competitiveness about her.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thanks, Geico Gators.
Got another one of those freshmen out in the circle, and Keegan Rothrock has allowed just a couple of hits, has already picked up a win in the series on Friday night. And there are her numbers through 3 innings here today with a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the 4th for Georgia. They're going to bring up 3, 4, and 5, and here come the senior sluggers. The next 4 due up all hit home runs yesterday. Avery Gels, the pinch runner, stays in at first base. Kearney a fly out to left her first time up. One and 2. 3 strikeouts on the day for Keegan. Kearney the opposite way, room in foul territory for Kistler, 1 down. The penultimate weekend of the regular season around the college softball world. And then moving on to Champ Week, May 7th through the 11th. On Saturday, May 11th, we have 5 championship games lined up for you, all on ESPN2. American, ACC, SEC, Big 12, and Pac-12. Mosley gets a hold of one, and that is gone. Sarah's 3rd of the series.
The senior having herself a senior weekend. Sarah Mosley, just so much power in that bat. Not just here in the senior campaign, but her entire career. That is her 14th home run of the year, and this is a rise ball on the outer half that she just gets around, barrels it up. You can see the launch angle coming off of that. You knew it was a no-doubter off of the bat. Lots of power. Mosley tying up the game.
Just the 5th hit off of Rothrock in the 8 innings she's worked here at Georgia. And here's Sydney Kuma. Sydney struck out on a curveball in the 2nd inning. Ten of Georgia's hits now on the weekend have been for extra bases. 7 of those taters. Kuma. Falby. Not much falls around Falby out there in center. 2 down.
She can get to it. You know, to your point, that's the 12th home run of the year that Rothrock has given up. But one of the keys for her is that when she does give up a long ball, it's what's happening in front of that ball. She's one of the keys because, you know, Fields, when she's on as well, it puts pressure on the defense, on the pitcher, really helps Kearney, Mosley, and Kuma in front of Fields.
That's in for a strike.
Continuing to work that outer half against Fields. Curveball away and then takes a little bit more off of that.
Bit of a breeze blowing out to left. Off the end of the bat, she's gonna have to leg it out. And a cannon at third base from Kowalewski gets her on Oklahoma State. As the Sooners try and secure a 12th straight Big 12 regular season crown before the Sooners and Longhorns depart for the SEC next year. It's going to be crazy next weekend at Love's Field in Norman.
It'd be great first opportunity to see the new stadium. Walking around.
9 and then the top here for Florida. Bailey Goddard is the pinch hitter and will likely head out to right field. Tied at 1, Ava Brown, a solo home run in the 2nd for the Gators. Sarah Mosley, solo shot in the 4th for the Dogs. Goddard launches one down the line and just wide of the foul pole.
And this one is gonna barely hook just to the left of the pole. And that's milliseconds trying to catch that inside curve just a little bit earlier.
Bailey has 5 home runs on the season. Takes a look at strike 2 there, count goes full.
That's a nice 3-1 changeup. You know, and it's a leveraged count, thinking the hitter's going to be attacking. And come back with it again. Boom.
Gets her with the change. 2nd strikeout, 1 down.
And when you can control your changeup like Backus can, it's really a difference maker. You can see the way she throws this flip change. It's got a high spin speed, moving and spinning in the opposite direction on the outer half. Gets Goddard to swing through it.
Back to the top of the order. Kendra Falby 0 for 2. Oh, it's going to be fun in Norman, too. Getting back to Bedlam, there is a chance Oklahoma, Texas, and Oklahoma State could all be top 5 seeds in the NCAA tournament.
Could very easily see that happening. Texas having a great year. Won that series against Oklahoma. Back-to-back losses for Oklahoma. Boy, it's been ages since anyone has ever said that.
Yeah. I think it was the first time since 2011 that it had happened in Big 12 play. 2-0 to Falby. They are winning, by the way. Oklahoma is over UCF. Trying to sweep that series in Orlando today. Catches the corner. Fourth inning yesterday is when Backus ran into some control problems into the 5th here and fights back to make it 3-2 again. Called strike 3. 3 strikes in a row from Backus, 2 down.
2 strikeouts in a row for Backus, really starting to find her groove here. Curveball, backdoor, throwing it inside to Falby. It comes back through the zone. She thinks it's ball 4. She gets rung up on that.
There's Corby Otis. Corby's got a hit in all 3 games of the series, has reached twice now today with a double and a walk.
And she's been very disciplined. She's one of those right-handed batters that you can tell sees left-handed pitching very well. She worked both of her at-bats in this game to full count. Hit a double in the 1st, walked in the 3rd. Not fishing at all.
Postseason hockey, postseason hoops, getting close to the mayhem in softball. Backus does it again. Fighting all the way back to a full count.
Back-to-back change-ups.
Otis sends it the opposite way. Back on the track is Jada Kearney. And a 1-2-3 in 3 of the last 9. Sarah Gordon with a rocket, and it's gone.
Wow.
They might need to move that building further back, Smitty. It is in play.
Oh, man. Sarah Gordon getting all into that ball. 5th home run of the year, and you could tell she was up hunting, knowing I'm looking up, I'm looking inside, and off the bat, she knew it. She didn't even finish her swing, and she was already in her home run trot.
It's onto the back porch. Woo. Couple of solo shots for the Dogs to lead the Gators now, 2-1. You need to start putting kids out there with gloves. You know. Lindy Ray Davis is the pinch hitter. And Georgia is out in front. They are looking for their first series win over Florida since 2018. Two home runs in the last 2 innings off of Rothrock. And Davis draws the walk. That's the first one of the game.
Yeah. And really, when you look at your scorecard, Rothrock has been outstanding. She's scattered hits, a couple of long balls given up, but no 3 passes. But 2 runs in the last 2 innings. Second time through the lineup, the Dogs have made some adjustments.
Digby will re-enter here to run.
And now batting number 24, Ellie Olmstead.
Got some activity in the bullpens. Ellie Armstead doubled her first time up. And then the top of the order comes around for the 3rd time.
A little bit of confusion on the signals. So Erickson's going to go out and talk to her freshman pitcher, Rothrock.
Eight home runs yesterday. 14 of the 17 runs scored were via the home run. And now all 3 runs today, courtesy of long balls. Armstead goes short game. And no throw to first base.
Well, I think the umpire is saying that it went off
foul
of
ball.
her, foul ball. And I think Walton's probably wondering.
Further review.
It's being upheld.
Yeah, been upheld. We're having some microphone issues, but it's been upheld.
Armstead a little bit stronger on that bend. Almost looked like she was maybe trying to pop it through to second base. But Avery Galls, the left-handed first baseman, was going to be charging in.
1-2 from Rothrock, misses away. Sarah Gordon led off the inning with a home run, and then Lindy Ray Davis drew the walk. 1 on with nobody out here for the 9-hitter for the Dogs. Erickson able to pop up quickly, the lefty catcher.
She's so strong behind the dish. She's had a great year at the bat, and she's Another one of those athletes that could be in the conversation for SEC Player of the Year.
Armstead chases Falby back to the track. Plenty of room for Kendra. Top of the order, and Goodnight. 0 for 2.
Good adjustments by Georgia, second time through the lineup. First time through the lineup, 3 strikeouts for Rothrock. Second time through for Georgia, 2 solo shots.
Here's the 1-1. Goodnight. The bunt drops fair in front of Kowalewski. Both are safe.
Well, I love the fact that Goodnight was reading the defense of Florida, realizing that Avery Gels was going to be playing back, so she was going to bunt over toward Kowalewski, who's going to try to make that diving catch. Great effort. See, that ball pops up just a little bit. Digby able to make her way to second. Goodnight safe over there at first.
Jaden Goodwin's going to be the pinch hitter here for Chambly in the 2 spot in the order. First pitch swinging, lifts that one out to Falby. 2 down. And here comes Jada Kearney. Final regular season home game for these Georgia seniors, and this All-American and 3-year starter out of Columbus, New Jersey.
An amazing career.
Took this one deep yesterday.
Yeah, so much power. She loves going to that oppo-G, keeps her hands inside the ball. She's one of the best with power hitting to that right center gap.
Looking to pad the lead. That was a home run swing there. Fourth all-time with those 56 home runs. 1-2.
Yeah, back-to-back changeup, respecting that power. Kearney, she takes a deep breath. She's been good this year. 385 with runners in scoring position. 4 changeups in a row.
That one down in the dirt. Now Tim Walton wants to chat. Two to Kearney. Rips that one. And that'll reach the base of the wall out in left center. One is in. Here comes another. 2 dogs make it home. On the Kearney double.
Jada Kearney, one of the best in the business, hitting under pressure, a 385 Risp Avenue, and when the pressure is on, Jada Kearney is on. Takes a pitch on the outer half and just drives that into the left center gap. On time, barrels it up. Getting a lot of love from the crowds. Her mom loving it, cheer on.
Today was her senior day celebration pregame. They've got 10 of them, so they had to stretch them over all 3 days of the series. And a big 2-run double.
7th.
Open this one up 4-1.
7th double of the year.
Michelle, for much of this SEC season, the power was gone for Georgia. They have rediscovered it here this weekend. Mosley pops that up, and that'll take care of the inning, but 3 more runs across for the Dogs of the tournament. We'll get to that host bubble here in a second. And here are the teams right now that are on that host bubble for number 8. If you talk about the KPI and the RPI and the strength of schedule, those are some of the things that the committee keeps an eye on. The Hogs are high right now. They're on the rise, while LSU has fallen off a little bit, and Texas A&M has that big series coming up next weekend in Gainesville. Selection Sunday, May 12th. We'll have 2 hours of coverage for you on ESPN2 starting at 7 Eastern on a Sunday night. And of course, every pitch, every game for the NCAA tournament on the road to the Women's College World Series. Skylar Wallace, 3-4-5 here for the Gators. They've got 6 outs to work with. Down 3.
3, 4, and 5 have been very quiet in today's game until now.
Wallace base hit. You ask what it might mean, what's the significance of being a host for the NCAA tournament? Well, the host team wins regionals 75% of the time. The host team wins super regionals 74% of the time. And if you are unseeded, well, you've only reached the World Series 12 times in 41 years.
Just shows the odds.
Which actually the seeding only started in 2005, but you know, or 1994, you know. Jocelyn Erickson. Wallace, who is tied for the all-time stolen base lead in Florida history. And Cassie Stewart can take that top spot all by herself if she gets another.
Be interesting to see what they do. More than likely, because they're down by 3 runs, they need her out there. There's a good chance they may not run her.
Yeah. Especially with some good bats coming up here. Erickson, Walsh, and Brown, and Kowalewski. This would be the group you would expect to do some damage if it's going to happen here in the 6th or 7th. And Backus walks Erickson, and the tying run now to the plate for Florida.
And I think Backus is wondering where that pitch missed. Gordon even asking as well. Umpire saying that's a little bit high. That's at the belt, and that's always a topic for discussion, is that the playbook says the bottom of the sternum. A lot of pitches at the belt are called balls, which I think that is a strike. I mean, we see a lot of balls leave the park, a lot of home runs hit that are belt level.
A pop up to second and a walk for Reagan Walsh today.
But nonetheless, that was the 3rd walk of the game. And one of the things that the Gators do so well is they had 219 walks coming into today, so they're at 222, one of the best clubs in the country at getting into leverage counts and taking the base on ball.
First 2 were left on base. Let's see what happens here with Erickson. Crowd showing some frustration with the strike zone.
Well, I think the main thing is the consistency. You know, it needs to be the same in the last half of the game as it is in the first part of the game.
Five of the last 6 batters now have reached a 3-0 count. Or 4 of the last 6. As a result, Walsh is taken all the way. A little Bronx cheer here in Athens. Full count.
I like that swing. You know, Reagan Walsh has 15 home runs on the year. She's really done a lot of damage this year. She's improved her batting average. She's improved her power. 3-1 leverage count, down by 3 runs. Heck yeah, I'm taking a big cut at that pitch.
Reaches there to protect. Pitch count up to 90. Second day in a row that Lily has thrown. Walsh, base hit off the glove of Armistead. Wallace had to wait, so she'll hold at third, and the bases are loaded. And now the go-ahead will come to the plate.
Well, and it's Ava Brown who had the solo shot for the Gators back in the 2nd inning. So Georgia in a little bit of a pickle. Full count, really good job of executing on this pitch. Reagan Walsh just having herself a year.
5 innings, a 5-hitter, 1 run allowed. And Ava Brown gets under it. Kearney coming in, it's shallow and right. Wallace will give it a go and score from third on the tag up. And the sacrifice fly for Ava scores a run with 1 out.
That's the speed of Wallace at third. A lot of average runners may not have been able to score on that ball to right field.
Now batting number 47, Ariel Kawaluski.
So here is the grand slam hitter from yesterday, Kawaluski, 1 for 2 with a single. There's that Saturday swing for you.
Kawaluski, the freshman, her first grand slam of her career, driving that ball out of the yard, got a pitch on the outer half and just smashed it.
One and one.
Great job by Walters. 70-mile-an-hour first pitch, drop for a ball, comes back with a changeup on the outer half.
We got Erickson over at third, and then Reagan Walsh at first. They haven't lifted Reagan, who's already been lifted once for a pinch runner, so she will stay in there. Not terrific speed if you've got a hot grounder, but a chance for 2 if you're Georgia.
On that play, as Georgia's wondering where this pitch misses. Walsh is
Wow, Walsh takes the base.
Yeah, sneaks herself down to second base.
That could be a big play right there for Florida. Full count.
I think the frustration of Georgia players right now is just on the strike zone. What was at the beginning of the game? What is it now? Both teams having to adapt.
Kawaluski the opposite way. Coming on to make the catch is Chambly, but another run will score. They appeal to third, and they call her safe. And
The runner left on time, and the play is being upheld.
And as we thought, Smitty, they will go to the bench here for a pinch hitter. Emily Wilkie.
Now batting for Florida, number 18.
286 on the season for Emily with 8 RBI. And she's got the tying run out at second base for the Gators. second appearance as a pinch hitter in the series. Oh, and 2.
Couple of big pitches by Shelby Walters.
Wilkie lifts that one out to left. Chambly's got it. And the tying run is left. Coming up next here on ESPN2 at the conclusion of our matchup, which has tightened up here in the bottom of the 6th. 4-3 Georgia.
Kind of expected that, right? Game 1 was really heavy Florida. Game 2, very heavy Georgia. Just kind of knew this was going to be one of those games. Back and forth battle.
What's at stake for Georgia? Well, they are out of the top 4 race. If they lose this game and Arkansas wins later, Kuma goes the opposite way, 1 down. For Florida, they are eliminated from the championship chase with a loss and a Tennessee win next. So the win imperative for both sides, as well as the series win. Jaden Fields with 1 down. Florida in the 7th will get the top of the order back up to the plate. Florida scoring 2 runs in the top half of the inning on a couple of sac flies. After Georgia scored 3 in the bottom of the 5th on the Carney 2-run double and the Gordon home run.
Fields just missing that. That pitch bleeds back into the strike zone. Jaden spins off that ball a little bit, but you mentioned it earlier, Beth. She's been getting hot as of late. It would be a big bat to have back in the lineup. She had a home run yesterday, in game 1, Friday, off of Rothrock.
Remember when those pitches looked like big old beach balls, Smitty?
That's right. Sometimes they look like M&M when you're in a when you're in a slump.
I had 1 beach ball at bat once. Mostly M&Ms.
It's just all about timing. Seeing that ball.
Called strike 3. 2 down. Sarah Gordon, homered in the 5th. That was the 4th strikeout for Rothrock.
Approaching 100 pitches now. This would be big after Georgia scores 3 in the 5th. To have a quiet 6th, the 1, 2, 3, 6 would be really big, especially after her offense put some runs up. And those are the things that she's doing really well as a freshman.
Yeah, she's been called on to do a lot. You know, you harken back to Hannah Rogers or Stacey Nelson, but a lot of their other pitchers, you know, were parts of staffs as freshmen, like Lauren Hager and Kelly Barnhill and Alicia Ocasio.
Yeah, they had a great junior or senior upperclassman pitcher to help bring them along. Not this pitching
Not this
staff.
group.
They also have Olivia Miller, left-handed pitcher, who's been great. Ava Brown.
Full count to Gordon. Gordon elevates back to the track, and that will stay in the yard, and the catch is made by Kistler. Last licks coming up for the Gators.
Corn was taunting
It was taunting, wasn't it? I don't know if you want to do that to a T-Rex.
the T-Rex. That's right.
Another great day of softball here at Georgia. This rivalry has lived up to the hype. Florida 3 games behind Tennessee in the race for the SEC regular season crown, just behind Texas A&M. The Aggies a game and a half back. A Florida loss here and a Tennessee win coming up next would eliminate the Gators from the race and make it a 2-team chase next weekend. A win here for Georgia would keep their hopes alive to grab a top 4 seed for the SECs. A much needed strike for Walters.
Kistler in the 9-hole.
Cannot walk the tying run aboard here in the 9 spot. And it goes 3-2. Falby's on deck. She is hitless so far today. Kistler drives that out to left. On the move, Chambly one down. Big get for Walters there.
Really big get, Beth, after starting out 3-0, fights her way back into that count, and then the line out to Chambly. At that point, you're just got taken out.
Top of the order. Infield's in with that Falby speed at the plate. Oh, 2. Georgia has not won a Florida series in 6 years. Outside the bag at third. With 2 for 10 so far in the series. Both those hits yesterday. 1-2.
Pretty locked in, fouling off anything close. Non-competitive pitch down in the dirt. She stays off of it.
Chase. Stick around, we've got Tennessee at Alabama coming up next. Falby base hit. Tying run aboard for the Gators.
Wow, great battle. Starting out 0-2, fouling off a lot of pitches. Watches a couple of balls go by, and on a 2-2 count, reaches for that. That's a pitch that's probably out of the zone, but reaches for it and just slaps it right through that 5-6 hole. Good effort by Armistead at short. Falby, she's just a spark plug.
Do they try and run her into scoring position? Otis coming up. A double, a walk, a fly out. Had a hit off of Walters on Friday.
That's power.
Flips the corner. Gets another 2-strike count.
It's a nice curveball on the outer half by Walters. I wonder if they try to go out there again, try to make her chase.
Ground ball, the throw to second, and everybody's going to be safe. They tried to get that lead runner. And an errant throw to Armistead.
Digby does a really good job as a freshman over there getting that ground ball, but then the throw, she just rushes it a little bit. Armistead is right there. You can see she comes across her body. That's probably a double play if that's a nice on-target throw. Unfortunate error for Georgia.
And now you got 2 on for Skylar Wallace. You talk about damage. How about last year in the Georgia series? 4 home runs, 8 RBI, and hit .857.
And this is where the Gators capitalize the free passes. They are so good at making you pay.
They have kept her relatively quiet so far this weekend. Another 2-strike count. There goes Falby trying to go for third, and they're going to throw her out. Tim Walton already calling for a review. 1-2 count. Infield is in. Tying run at third, and a swing and a miss. And a strikeout for Walters. Wow. Emotional after that get.
Holy cow, that is a big-time pitch. And the crowd here loving it. SEC Player of the Year going down on a pitch. That's a screwball that's just going to run away from her bat. Skylar Wallace does not swing and miss much. That's a huge get for Walters.
So now another left-hander comes up. Left-handers have hit Walters a lot better than righties. Do you walk her here? And pitch to the right-handed Walsh on deck.
Walsh has been so good this year. It's tough, both tough decisions. Erickson has been outstanding as well.
She also happens to lead the team in RBI. Got 2 big ones out there for the Gators with 2 outs. One and one. Missed it away.
Erickson looks like she's hunting something inside. Hasn't really been chasing at anything on the outer half.
A single, an error, a double steal, and 2 in scoring position. Florida needing 1 to tie it. 3-1. Georgia 1 strike away. The Gators 60 feet away. Pulled foul. Drives one deep, and it is gone! 3-run home run has Florida back in front.
Jocelyn Erickson looked like she knew what she was hunting. That is a big-time hit for the transfer from Oklahoma. She has been outstanding all year long, the sophomore with her 10th home run of the year, putting the Gators back on top, down to their last strike. Take a look at this pitch on the inner half. You could just tell this is what she was hunting. And she goes down and gets that ball, barrels it up. The 3-run shot puts the Gators up by 2 late in the game.
6-4 Florida. They choose to pitch to the lefty. And Erickson, clutch. After throwing her away most of that bat, they come inside and she buries it. Walsh sends one deep, way back, and that's gone. 2 in a row for Florida.
And Reagan Walsh has been strong all year long. A 400-plus batting average. She's going to get in the mix as well. That's her 16th home run of the year. Florida getting some big swings off. This is a changeup. She's just waiting for it on the outer half. She sits back and just connects with it. You can tell she was really on her backside, letting that ball get deep. Drives that out of the park.
What a wild finish in Athens. A 4-run top of the 7th for the Gators, who were down to their final strike. And now, if you're Georgia, you got to get back up to the plate in the bottom half of the inning. 8, 9, and 1 would be due up for Georgia.
Georgia is probably going to go back and take a look at that play, that delayed steal at third, and you mentioned it, the swipe tag. And you put a swipe tag on, more than likely that's out. Game's over after the strikeout of Wallace. Not to mention the error at first from Digby, right?
That throwing error.
Oh. You know, you give you give Florida 4 outs in an inning, 5 outs in an inning, they're gonna do damage. Just no doubt about it. And I think the one key that Shelby Walters is missing is a rise ball, just something up at the eyes. She stays a lot in the lower half of the zone. You could tell the Gators are just looking low, looking low. She needs something in that upper half to be able to chase high.
Boy, we've been talking about it all weekend, too, for Florida, the freshmen and the transfers. Today, Ava Brown with a home run and a sac fly. Kowalewski with a sac fly. Erickson, the big 3-run home run. Full count. Ball four. And Kowalewski will be the 8th to the plate this inning for Florida.
Hit batters and errors.
An error in the inning, a couple of stolen bases, a free pass, all a part of this.
Yeah, just can't extend the inning.
Ariel's got a single and a sac fly to score a run.
Taken out of the sails a little bit of this Georgia team. You know, it's a lot of times it's how it happens, being down to that last strike. It's different if Florida puts a 5 spot, a 6 spot, a 7 spot up early in the game and you fight your way back in, but these are losses that always burn a bit should they not be able to put some runs up on the board in the bottom half of the inning.
Full count. Back-to-back walks. And Williams is the 9th to the plate here in the 7th.
Now batting number 11, Mia Williams.
If you're looking for that Tennessee-Alabama game, they are underway. That's over on ESPNU. We'll get you there at the conclusion of our game as Tennessee goes for the sweep of the tie. They're scoreless in the second. And that is 3 walks in a row.
Back-to-back walks by Howard after coming in.
And the bases are loaded up now for Florida. Kistler coming up for the second time in the inning, lined out to left to start things out.
And for Florida, really, things started last inning. Did a good job of loading up the bases, the pitching change to Walters. Putting a couple of runs up on the board to scratch back close, give themselves the opportunity. And really, you got to go back to Kendra Falvey. The one-out single in the 7th to really get all this started. The error, just taking advantage.
One to Kistler. And that will drop in fair. Another run will score. 2 are in. They're going to try and score 3. And the Gators will play them all on the Kistler triple. And she will face Falvey to try to get this last out to get Georgia to the plate in the bottom of the 7th.
She's going to be more up in the zone, more rise curve screw. At this point, it's also a question of how much time did she have in the bullpen to get warm.
Florida scored 9 on Friday, 6 yesterday, and now 10 here on Sunday. As they look to take the series, keep their regular season SEC title hopes alive. And then ironically start rooting for Alabama. Fourth time this year they've put up 20 in a series. And Orcutt gets the strikeout.
With any damage done.
Falvey would have been out twice.
Yeah.
Instead, that allowed Erickson to come up, and with 2 strikes down to their final swing, she sends one out of the house. And that triggers a 7-run inning. So now last chance for Georgia, 8-9 in the top. What a job by Florida to find ways to just hang in there, stick around, and then come up with the clutch hits when they needed them.
Young team, they're hungry.
These are the top 2 home run hitting teams in the league, and they have put on a show here this weekend. 1 down on the strikeout for Rothrock, who's going for her 2nd win of the series.
Nice curveball in the outer half, really spinning that, stretching that strike zone.
There's Ellie Armistead, going for 2 with a double. Oh, and 2. Keegan Rothrock inching closer to her 20th win of the season for the freshman. Waste that one in the dirt. 2-strike pitch. Armistead out to left. Otis is there, and now 1 out away for the Gators.
Well, and if you're the Gators, you got to be feeling good about this series. I mean, this is not an easy place to come into and win a series. A late comeback win, a bounce back from a game yesterday where they gave up 5 home runs. These are all things that make this young team stronger and stronger. And on the flip side for Georgia, you got to be saying, hey, if we just clean up our game a little bit, if we play to our potential, there's no reason why this Georgia team can't get to the Women's College World Series.
Well, and as it stands now, they got to root for Arkansas to lose today. Otherwise, they will be out of contention for a bye at the SEC tournament.
Yep.
Which means you'd have to start playing on Wednesday instead of Thursday in a couple weeks' time.
Well, I think, hopefully they have Madison Krupix back in the circle for them. That's another dynamic of this series, is that throwing really with ace A and B and not A, B, and C makes a big difference.
Dallas, good night, and the Dogs down to their final strike. Ground ball to short. Wallace is there. Skies it to first and an error. And Goodnight will try for second and dive in safely. Dogs not done yet.
Now batting, number 2, Jaden Goodwin.
Leaving the door open to get to the heart of the order here. Here's Goodwin in the 2 spot. Backhanded by Wallace. She's got another opportunity at it. And Goodwin safe at first. Runners on the corners, and here come the seniors, and here come the home run hitters.
Goodwin with so much speed. Really nice play by Skylar Wallace, but you're not going to get the speed of Goodwin.
This one has officially run off the rails.
Has officially run off the rails. Oh.
A 3-run bottom of the 5th for Georgia, then the 2-run 6th for Florida, then the 7-run 7th for the Gators when they were down to their final strike, and Erickson hits the 3-run home run. And now the Dogs are barking here in the bottom of the 7th.
Now batting for the Bulldogs, number 8, Jada Carney.
Carney, the 2-run double the last time she came up. Georgia back in February did have a 9-run inning against Florida State. Just toss that one out there.
There we go.
Kearney launches that one way back and onto the rooftop and out.
Wow. I don't know if we're calling that Beth off the rails or back on the rails, but that is a Jada Kearney blast for her 16th home run of the year.
That's the farthest one of the weekend.
Pitch on the inner half, yeah, and she just drives that onto the top of the roof of the building, and it's a no-doubter again. We've seen some no-doubters. She is all into that pitch. Look how far this goes.
It is 10-7. 15 combined runs in the last 3 innings. And here comes Sarah Mosley, who has 2 home runs. One of her home run balls is still on the roof. There it is. I think they should just leave it up there when they finish the construction. Base hit. Handed to Villa. And it's Sydney Kuma, 0 for 3. Rothrock in for a strike. Kuma misses on her home run swing, and for the second time, the Dogs down to one last strike. Out of play. What an entertaining weekend in Athens with Florida and Georgia. One and two.